an amazing, juicy, delicious galette slash crostata. And then the fruit crisp I've already made, and it's because I want to show you what I did and how it's so much better. I changed how I do the crust. I made it easier, and it's the silliest thing, but it's so much faster and it's so much better and more consistent. And so that's the scoop, okay? So we're gonna dive right in. I've got, just so you know, for the crostata, I already took some ground almonds and flour and sugar, and I put them in. Hi, Ann. I put them together. It calls for ground almonds in the base layer of the galette. And all I did is I took slivered almonds, you guys, and I toasted them a little bit in a pan. And then I put them in the blender and I pulsed them. So they're not perfect. But what's going to happen is this flour, sugar, almond situation is going to soak up all the juices from the fruit. It's going to be absolutely fabulous, okay? So here's that. I also took nectarines and strawberries, and I've already cut them, all right? So I'm saving us time. I'm having a bite. I've got sugar that's going to go on them. This is the crust, and this is the most important part, okay? So I've already combined the flour and the salt and the very cold butter. I cut this butter up and I put it back in the fridge to chill, okay? So we're gonna start by making this crust. And I'm gonna show you my face here for a second. Okay, all right. So if you haven't made a pastry crust that requires rolling out, right? Like a pie dough or a tart dough or something like this, a lot of times it's the same method. And that is that you can put it in a food processor and you pulse this cold butter, right? And you want it cold because when it's really cold and you roll it out, it's gonna create these long streaks of butter in it. So you get like a really flaky crust, okay? If it's warm, it kind of like sticks and it won't be scattered around as much. It's the same reason they call for cold water to add to it, okay? So you can certainly do this in a food processor, and they tell you to pulse it until the flour, the butter looks like little pea sizes, or you can do it, watch this, potato masher to the rescue. I'm just gonna do this with a potato masher a little bit because your hands are warm, and warm fingers are gonna melt the butter, right? So you like flaky crusts instead of crumbly. Now, Angie, I'm like, wait, how do you define the difference between flaky versus crumbly? Flaky, that's like layers, right? And crumble just like breaks apart. Yeah, definitely a time and a place. Like a fruit crumble or a crisp is meant to just break, where flakes will just flake off in a crust. Can you see how all the cold butter is stuck in my masher? Watch this. I want to use my hands as little as possible. I'm just going to pull this butter off there, and then I'm going to use my hands, but I'm going to watch. I'm going to put flour on them, and I'm just going to move really quickly, okay? And then you can also chill. We're going to chill this crust a little bit after we roll it out so that the butter, I don't like my masher for this. Can you see why? The butter is stuck in it. I'm going to press on the flour again and get that butter out. So if you have a pastry blender, which I do, you know, the little rocking horse, Mezzaluna, you can use that as well. Okay, watch this. So now I'm just going to work really quickly, and I'm just going to break up the butter with my fingers, and then I'm going to add the water. I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of ice water. We want it that cold to bring it together. So anything that I mess up by touching the butter with my fingers right now, it's going to get cold again when I add the ice water. And then we're going to roll it out. My goal is to roll this out and get it in the fridge to chill for a few minutes, or even the freezer. And then we're going to add the bottom crust. We're going to add the fruit. We're going to get that puppy in the oven, okay? Now, of course, Jacques Pepin's got 5 stars all across the internet. That's why we decided to share this recipe with you. And he uses plums. I thought we'd change it up. I don't know, for some reason, I like plums. I don't love plums. But if you love plums, go for it. I got some apricots. I might do a different one later too, right? But today, strawberry and nectarine sounded good. And we're doing blueberry and peach for the other. Or are we doing strawberry and peach here? Oh, this is peach, isn't it? Nectarines are in the crisp. Okay. Can you guys see that the butter is broken up? There are a couple bigger pieces, but for the most part, right? I'm using regular flour, Sonia. Have I told you guys? I won't bore you with my food allergies. Yeah, I will. I went to the food allergist this week, and everything we thought about me was wrong, but we figured out what I'm allergic to and why, and my life is changing dramatically. Let me get this off my hands before I use the ice water, okay, you guys? I love making crusts, and if you wanted to do gluten-free, you certainly could. It won't be as... it'll break more easily. Without gluten, it doesn't really like hold its shape quite as well. Let me get a fork for this too, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of ice water. Now, depending on where you live, don't worry, this is 1/4 cup, so I'm going to add a little bit more in a second. Depending on where you live, the humidity, everything can change. Right? So you might not need as much water, you might need more, but what we're looking to do is just add enough water to get this dough to stick together, right? It's looking really good. I'm going to add like less than a tablespoon more. Oops. So you get the water really cold with ice cubes, but you don't put the ice cubes in the dough. Okay, just do that again. You just want to be able to hold it together. Otherwise, it's going to get too wet. It's perfect. You guys, it's perfect. This is the day. This is the best part, too, is that when you go to do this yourself, you can always go back and watch this again, right? I love that we have playbacks on House of Haas. Okay. I'm just going to make a whole bunch of room here. Are we ready? I'm going to do it straight on here. And then I've got flour nearby, so if I need more to roll it out with, so it doesn't stick to the board. Oh my gosh. You guys, I love playing with dough, whether it's cookie dough, pizza dough, bread, pastry crust like this. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. And you'll notice I'm working really quickly. That's because, again, I'm going to bring this closer. I don't want to handle it so much that it gets too warm. Now I just need my rolling pin. Where have I put it, friends? Where have I put my rolling pin? Here it is. I'm using this one. You could certainly use a marble one or a non-stick one. I love this one because it's really long, right? And for some reason, Jacques likes to make an oval galette. So we're going to do that. And it's big. He says to roll it out to like 18 by 16, which is basically even larger than a half sheet pan, because you're going to roll the crust out over it. You're going to fold it back over it. So I'm going to use this sheet pan that fits in my oven. And when I put the dough on it, it should be about this big, but oval, okay? Who's ready for rolling this out? This is one of my favorite things to teach people, because guess what? You cannot let it stick to the counter, and you have to keep moving it. See how flaky it is? That's okay. So we want plenty of flour down, but I'm going to gather this up, and I'm going to roll, and I'm going to turn it, because every time, and since it's going to be an oval, I'm going to kind of shape it into an oval to start, right? Instead of a disc, a round disc, it's like an oval disc. We're going to push out. Okay. So we're going to do this. Don't worry. It's going to be super flaky. And we're going to turn it, a quarter turn. What happens if it's breaking apart? We're just going to do that. We're going to push it together with our fingers. See this? Okay, you always want to make sure it can still move, because if it sticks to the bottom, there's no going back. This is really flaky. I might even add, like, watch this. A little tap of water, that's okay. Okay, just make sure again, you don't want your pin to stick to it. Okay, so I'm going for oval. And now, I mean, mine is really, it's because I went light on water. I'm not going to regret it, trust me, but it's why it can break apart. I'm just going to pinch it a little bit again. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little more flour on the top so that I know my rolling pin won't stick to those damp pieces. Let's just do this. Okay. So we're going to roll and we turn. See how that stuck? Take that right off. We're going to sprinkle a little more flour on the top. Quarter turn. Roll, 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 roll. Can you see this big hole in it? We're not going to panic. Let me put this camera down even a little bit more for you guys. There we go, right? That's better. See that right there? Just remember, it's all forgiving. It's only dough. We're not dealing with a human or a newborn. And normally, if there's a little bit more water in this dough, it won't break as much. But I took the risk of going light on the water, and I'm okay with it. Okay, here we go. We're trying to get to like 1/4 of an inch thickness. And I'm kind of getting an oval, right? I'm just going to do that though. Ta-da! I'm just going to patch. It's like Play-Doh, you guys. Now, I rolled it a lot and it's kind of stuck underneath. So this is when I wish I had my fish spatula, but I don't because it's probably stuck on the other side of where I'm cooking. So I'm just going to lift it like this, okay? To make sure it's still not sticking. I swear, this is one of those times, friends, when food can smell fear. It knows when you're afraid of it. And if you're too gentle, yes, Lori, galettes are really rough. So you don't have to worry about it being perfect anywhere, and that's why I like it. We're just building this deliciously flaky moat to hold all of our amazing fruit. And then, yep, it's pretty buttery, so it's getting hard to turn, which means, Amanda, I should have a little bit more flour underneath it, right? And guess what? It's also probably going to break when I show you how to put it onto the sheet pan, but we can fix it again. All we're trying to do is make sure that there aren't a lot of big cracks here because the fruit juices are going to bake and kind of fall into this. It happens anyhow. But that's why Jacques' recipe is so brilliant, because he's putting that flour and sugar mixture down on here, and it's going to help catch all of that delicious, juicy fruit. Okay, so let me roll it. And let's look at the size of this compared to the pan. It's getting close. It's getting close. I want it to be a little bit, I really want my fish spatula because it's the thinnest thing to get under here, right? It's the easiest one to work with where you can make sure it's not sticking and you could actually kind of like still move it. But we work with what we've got. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give it one last roll. And then look at what I'm going to do. Are you guys ready for this? It's very exciting. This is where your food definitely knows when you're afraid of it. So I'm going to do this just because mine has been sticking a little bit because I don't have enough flour down there. Oh, hold on. Let's do it from this direction, actually. That makes more sense to roll it away from me. So as pieces come apart. What I'm going to do is roll it onto the rolling pin itself. Okay. And yes, this takes practice. And again, mine's getting warm, so it's kind of crumbly. If mine's not perfect, I want you to just be like, see, it's okay. It's warm, so it's kind of like breakable. But that doesn't mean it's not salvageable. Okay, watch this. Are we ready? Talk about confidence. You got to have it right now. Ta-da! See? This is broken. Are we upset? We're not. Because we're going to pop it in the fridge. We're actually going to pop it in the freezer to chill for just a couple of minutes while I talk you through the other pieces. And it's going to set up. And then what's going to happen is we're going to put that beautiful, beautiful ground flour, sugar, almond mixture down. We can trim this a little bit if we want it to look a little bit nicer. Like, I might trim this. I'm going to use this to patch a little bit anyhow, right? It just depends on if you're going for like the perfect look versus the calculated casual look that Amanda Haas subscribes to, I should say, where you're just like, it's rustic, right? It's homemade. It's simply homemade. It's homemade simple. I'm joking, because have you guys seen? I have a copy of my new book. It's behind me, actually, up on the shelf. Okay, so look at that, you guys. Is it perfect? No. Is it perfectly delicious? Yes, it's going to be perfectly delicious. And when we fold the edges around, right, it's only going to be like that big. Okay, so I am going to pop this. Oh, gosh. I wonder if this even fits in my fridge. Let's find out. I bet it's better in my freezer. It doesn't even fit in there. Ooh, I think it does. Did it? It fits in my freezer. So hold on, let me wash my hands. We're just going to give it like 5 minutes in the freezer, which is going to be hilarious. I'm showing you my face again, okay? It's like I don't want you to get seasick while I'm moving the camera around. Okay, so we're going to let it sit in the freezer for about 5 minutes because all we're looking for it to do is set up, right? And get a little bit colder again so that it doesn't all crumble apart when I go to fold the edges over. So I cannot wait to see what we think of Jacques' idea where he puts the flour and the almond and the sugar mixture down in the bottom, because I think that what's going to happen is that it just secures the crust basically, right? And it keeps it from getting too soggy. But one of the most beautiful things about making a crostata or a galette, whatever we want to call it today, is that you get when the fruit is really fresh and juicy, it's going to bleed out, right? It's going to bubble over and it's going to stick to whatever it's baking on. So that's why I'm using parchment paper. I think that it's absolutely necessary when you're doing something like this, because if it sticks to the bottom of a baking sheet, the sugars are going to be really hard to get off, right? So if you have parchment paper, I highly recommend it. Aluminum foil is not really the right thing for the job either, because it'll stick to the aluminum foil in a weird way, or if it does, right, then you've got aluminum foil that you're eating. We don't want that. I also wanted to show you that I was going to get my pastry blender scraper out to clean this up, and I probably already took it out. Oh yeah, I have it right over here. Hold on. This is why you're actually supposed to use this thing, right? Because when you go to clean up crumbs, I mean, look at how easy this is. It goes from being a hard mess to clean up. Rustic, yeah, rustic is a really nice way of saying messy. I call all my food rustic, Lori. Casual, rustic, casual, rustic ease. Let me get a bowl to put this in, okay? That way, if we need any of it to help use as a moat, we've got it. I can't believe it. I'm cleaning as I go. Okay, I'm going to put this away because guess what I'm going to do after this, friends? I'll tell you in just 1 minute. Just also get the flour out of the way here. We're not going to need that anymore. I'm so impressed with myself. Cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. I'll get this in the sink. I actually had that on my cell phone. That's really, really good. Okay. Let's just clean up these crumbs, right? They're everywhere. Is anybody using gluten-free flour today? I'm curious. I just tossed those crumbs into my sink. I just basically threw them out of the sink. Okay. Okay, we're all cleaned up, right? Okay, so back to, oh, I didn't tell you. So Lindsay, my business partner, who's the reason why I got to start House of Haas, she is the person who taught me how to bring all of this online. And we're starting another business venture together. She is about to have a baby. And so I'm going to see her today for the last time before her baby is born. And I'm so excited for her as someone who has older kids now. When you know everything's going to be fine. It's just such an exciting time. I think I'm excited like, I don't know, maybe like a grandparent would be. I'm so excited to have a little person in my life who I can just love on and reassure that the parents that it's all going to be okay, right? So I'm very, very excited for them to have their baby. It's going to be a great, great week. And maybe what I'll do is I'll take her a slice of this galette. I'll definitely take her some of the fruit crisp. So here's the fruit we're going to use, okay? These are the peaches that I've already sliced and the strawberries. Again, if you like plums, terrific. You're excited about her zero proof recipes. Oh, good, Lori, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yes, Sonia, absolutely possible. I make everything kind of interchangeable, right? A gluten-free crust will kind of be a little bit more breakable, but that's okay. You just press it down and you deal with it, right? And like I say, I would rather have that than nothing at all. So it's fun for me to use gluten, again, for the first time in like a decade, but you certainly can keep it gluten-free, all right? So I'm going to do that with Lindsay. I'm going to use these beautiful fruits today because they were ripe and in season, and they're absolutely spectacular. They smell so good. And that's what's so important. Even if you're buying them in a regular grocery store, smell the produce. It should smell like what it is. These are just like, this is summer in a bowl to me, right? And for the other crisp, I used nectarines and blueberries. And I had a ton of blueberries left over from a project I was working on last week, and they stayed in great shape. And then I just bought fresh, really ripe nectarines. So the best part about having fruit that's a little overripe too is when you bake it, it doesn't matter. It's just extra sweet and delicious. So it's perfect to use in a baked dessert if your fruit is a little too ripe or bruised looking, right? Okay, so let's get, hi Diana. I know, I'm an auntie, that's exactly it. Or I don't know, no, I'm not old enough to be Lindsay's mom, but you're right. Let's call me an auntie. Okay, let me get the crust and let's do this thing. Okay, putting it in the freezer is like a great hack. I'm going to move the camera back down, okay? And I probably have more fruit than we need, just to warn you. So here's the mixture of the almonds, the ground almonds that I just did in a food processor or blender, the flour and the sugar. This is like, we're thinking about having newborns, and I'm thinking, I almost said this is an absorbent layer right here to absorb any of the amazing juice that's going to come out from the fruit. But like I said, you can expect this to just be overflowing with mega amounts of fruit juice, because we're also going to put sugar on the top of them. So let's just pile it on. If you wanted to be calculated about this, you certainly could be. That is not going to be me today. I just want to fit as much fruit as humanly possible in this thing. And so mine is going to have a very abundant feel a word I love, abundant. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of like, let's do that. Let's put some peaches around the sides, and it's gonna kind of hold it all in, right? Especially if I fold things over here. Okay. You guys, this is the best of summer right here. Oh, look at this little stray one. Tuck it in. If anybody's looking at the recipe, you can hold me accountable, by the way. I think I'm just supposed to sprinkle sugar over the top of these. And then I reserve a little bit of the sugar, and I'm going to put it on the outside of the crust, right? So this feels like a lot of sugar to me, but we're talking about Jacques Pepin. So I'm just going to listen to Jacques. Is that crazy? Doesn't he say 1/3 of a cup? Lori, are you reading? Maybe I'll go a little lighter because my fruit is so sweet. I don't think it needs that much. But man, he's the boss. Diana, I still have your pot that you bought to donate money. It's sitting in my storage area. I need to get it to your sister-in-law. Is that who lives here? Okay, you guys, it's very cold now. Don't worry. We're gonna fold. This is kind of like parchment paper. You can just like fold over it. See how I'm doing that? We're trying to make a moat. Oh my God, this is gonna be, I think, like the best thing I've made in ages. And then don't worry, if there are areas where it looks like the juices are gonna spill out, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna repair. Oh my gosh. You guys, friends, enemies. I'm kidding. Okay. So look at, can you see, I'm going to turn it so you can see. Can you see that like right here, it looks like it's doubled up, but it looks like the juice is going to be able to escape there. It looks like it's going to escape there. I'm going to just put a little extra crust there. Now, is anybody reading? Does it tell me to put an egg wash on? I don't think it does. Or based with butter before I put the sugar, the extra sugar on the crust? Or does it just tell me to sprinkle the sugar on the crust right now? There's so much butter in the crust that maybe it doesn't need it. Anyone? I don't care. I'm just going to roll the dice because that's how I roll. There's another little hole right there. But part of its beauty and charm, you guys, is like this whole idea. Thank you, Lori. This whole idea was just born of like, you've got beautiful fruit. You want to make something, flour, sugar, water, a little butter. You know, it's like we're not dealing with fancy ingredients, but look at how fabulous this is. That nectarine needs to, or peach needs to come in a little bit. Okay. So it's meant to be rustic. And you can put whipped cream on it or creme fraiche when you're done. I bought some. I think I'll put whipped cream on it tonight for my kiddos. I have to eat that piece. Okay. More sugar on the crust. You guys, all of this sugar is going to caramelize on the parchment. So do not panic when it's stuck. That's when you really do need a fish spatula to get underneath it when it comes out of the oven, okay? This is a ton of sugar. Sugar is going to burn, and that's fine. Okay, does anybody want to see it? I feel like I should take a picture of this for Instagram before it goes in the oven. Shall we? Hold on, let's see. I'm going to just watch this. That's fun, huh? Okay, let's do one this way. 1/3 cup on the fruit except for 1 teaspoon. Yeah, that's 1/3 of a cup, but that's a heck of a lot of sugar. Oh, you know what's so funny? Overhead, you can see where you need to patch it as well. This is my ode to Jacques. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just realized, remind me to tell you about the dream I had last night, which is a recurring nightmare of mine. When will it stop? Okay, I'm going to put this in the oven and then I'll tell you about the dream. Although that piece had too much sugar, I need to eat that. Now I messed with perfection. There are too many strawberries on this side compared to that side. Okay, and it goes. Good luck. All right, you guys. I'm going to go back up to my face now. Okay, I had the dream last night that I have this recurring dream. Lori, you'll laugh because it has to do with going back to college. I think I've told you guys this before, actually. I feel like I have. And it's the dream where you haven't graduated, you think you've graduated, and it's always a different riff. Like I have my friends, I'm still friends with the core group of women from college, and they're always in the dream, but I go back and I'm at this age and everybody's already like got a roommate situation figured out. I'm confused. I'm in the wrong dorm. I don't know how many classes I'm supposed to take. At some point I realized that I've already taken all the classes. So why am I back there in the first place? Last night it was about my French classes because in real life I was a French major and I had tested out of some French in my AP on my AP test in high school. So when I got to college, I just had to take like, I don't know, like 8 to 10 classes and I could have a French major. So it was the easy way out, right? And I went to France for a semester and I took 5 classes. And then by the time I got home, I had like 2 classes left as a senior to take that were French. Otherwise I was done. And in this dream last night, I could not figure out which French classes I needed to take, new versus old. And then when I went back to talk to them about it, they were like, you actually need to take a lot of new classes. And I was so confused. And it's the same thing every time in the dream. There's this new dorm and I'm supposed to live there, but I'm in the wrong building. You know, just one of those panic stress dreams. And it happens every time I've got a lot going on in my life. And so it's pretty funny because I'm not stressed in a bad way right now, but I have a lot going on and a lot changing. And so it's funny, I think the French thing must have popped in because I've been thinking about Jacques Pepin so much with this darn galette. So crazy. Bonjour de Montreal. Hello, Maureen. How are you? We just put the galette / crostata in the oven. We've used strawberries and peaches for that. And you can use anything you want. Like I said, the Jacques Pepin recipe that we are sharing with you use plums. And so we just adapted that. But if you have apricots, pluots, all berries, that's great. I think the secret to this recipe is that it's the flour, almond, sugar on the bottom so that catches so many of the juices. So it doesn't just like completely turn into such a juicy mess. You can't cut it into slices when it's done, right? So is it U of A in the class? Lori's asking. Yeah, that's always the dream, right? You're like, you haven't studied, you don't know where to go, you're late to the final. So yes, it's at U of A. And for some reason, the stadium is always in it now. Like there's a new dorm. Oh, in real life, I think there are dorms, or I found out some of the athletes get to live in like a dorm underneath the stadium. So I'm supposed to live over there, but that's the new part. I don't know where I'm going. I haven't been back to Tucson since a year after I graduated from college. And I think in my dream, it's like trying to tell me to go back there so I can orient myself. And there's this huge booksellers fair in the spring there every year. Maybe I'll go next spring so that I can just get this out of my head. Because I keep dreaming about Tucson. I keep dreaming about Paris. I've got to go back to Paris. And I am going to go to Paris in the spring for my book. And where else do I keep having recurring dreams about? I used to have them about Hawaii until I went back to Hawaii. So yeah, it's very strange. Anyhow, okay, back to baking. You guys, I can't believe this. Lori, I lived in Coronado my freshman year, and then I lived in some apartments, and then I went to France for a semester, and my junior and senior year, I lived in the sorority house. Did you live in the dorms there? You did too? You lived in Coronado? That place is still around. Okay, you guys, back to this. When we started talking about wanting to learn fruit desserts this summer and new things, I almost wanted to teach you a shortcake. And then I was like, you know, I like shortcake, but I don't love it. I don't love, you can either use, it's like a biscuit almost, right? Or you can buy angel food cake and use that. Either are good, but I don't love them. What I love is this combination of yummy ingredients like oats and brown sugar and all this yumminess. But I gotta be honest, all of my crisp recipes lately where it has you mix in the butter like I just did for that crust, I have not been crazy about. And I had an epiphany yesterday. Why do I try to mix the butter in with a pastry blender or a fork? Why can't I just melt it all together with the oats and the flour and the brown sugar and spices or lemon zest or salt and then crumble it over? And you guys, that's what I did today. And let me tell you, it cooked, because on my last, every time I do crisps and they're like kind of white in areas and brown in others where the butter has melted or not. What? No, look at this. It's a masterpiece. So the recipe I gave you today, instead of breaking in the butter by or pulsing it in a food processor, all I did was melt it. I melted it in a warm pan that I had. You can melt it in the microwave, pour it into the dry ingredients, and it becomes, let me show you, I saved you some, I think. Did I? Did I save it or did I eat it? Oh yeah, I ate most of it. But like basically, it's just this like oaty, yummy mixture. I've been eating it all day. And it crumbles beautifully over this. And then the butter is spread throughout and all of our problems are solved. And so I can't believe that after all of that and having made them, it's so weird. In so many cookbooks, they tell you to do it, blend the butter in like you would for a crust. I like this so much better. It's so much faster. Let me try a bite and I shall describe it to you. The other thing in this one, which I like in this recipe we provided, is that we tell you to use a little bit of cornstarch. You could certainly use tapioca, but when fruit in the summer is so darn juicy, you have a lot of juice going everywhere and it can get kind of like messy, right? This makes it a little bit thicker and a little bit easier to spoon out. You don't have the problem as much when you're using apples or kind of like crunchier pears or Asian pears. They don't give off as much juice. But I think adding sugar and cornstarch to the fruit itself before you put the topping on is super important, okay? So let me get a little bowl and let's have a sample, shall we? I mean, it's a terrible job, but somebody has to do it. Get a spoon. Let me show you. Let's see what it looks like. I need a better spoon to dig. Well, let's use this one. Okay. Oh my gosh. It's all about the ratio for me. And this calls for a generous amount of crisp topping, which I really, really like. Holy cow, my drawer just opened on its own and I thought it was a mouse. Panic! Look at that. So it sounds like a funny word to use for this, but it really helps maintain the integrity of the fruit. See, so it's not like totally spilling everywhere, but the fruit is super juicy. So I highly recommend adding the cornstarch to this, okay? Now let's take a bite, shall we? It's a terrible job. Terrible, terrible job. Okay. I'm probably gonna have the topping is a million times better. No offense to my last recipes. I'm going to go in and make the changes to this recipe and I'll repost it on the website that you're going to add melted and cooled butter, just slightly cooled. Okay, it doesn't have to be cold, obviously, or it would be firm. This is delicious. Best crisp I've ever made, hands down. Melt the butter. Going in my next cookbook. I can't believe that. I'm almost embarrassed that I haven't thought to do that sooner. Isn't it funny when you follow other people's instructions and you kind of forget to think for yourself? Like I knew deep down how to fix this. I just really, I don't know why I ignored it for so long. The texture is so much better. It's like crunchier, but more consistently buttery. So it stays together in pieces. Oh my God. I'll stop. One more bite. Mm-hmm. My kids are gonna flip out. No, actually one of my kids will flip out when they come home and they see that it's here. That's the answer you've been looking for? Then I'm laughing. I'm seeing the part where you're like, I'm not ready for finals. Now you're gonna have the nightmare. You guys, this is literally gonna be, you're gonna find me when I come home later picking at the topping because it is so good. It's almost like crumbs off a crumb cake. That is so delicious. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm super happy about that. Let's talk while the other one bakes. It's got a long time to bake. So if we run out of things to talk about before it's ready, we can always break and I can come back to it. But what else do we want to talk about for food and questions about cooking in general? I know on Monday, since you guys were so patient, since I had to change the class because of my back pain, we're going to do the panzanella salad, which we're kind of changing tacks as I look for new recipes. If I don't have one created myself, that's why I decided to do the Jacques Pepin galette. I want to share the best recipes for you. And if I haven't invented it, that's okay. So we're going to do Ina Garten's panzanella on Monday night, which I love her so much because she tests her recipes so many times before she puts them in print to make sure that they are absolutely the best they can be. And so we're going to do Ina's panzanella, and then we're going to do my recipe from the Vibrant Life for my stone fruit. Let's find it. Oh, there it went. We're going to do this recipe. Where did it go? I just saw it. Beautiful, right? The best that summer has to offer. So it's tomatoes, stone fruit, goat cheese, and pistachios. And I take a little bit of shaved red onion and put it in there as well. So I love this recipe so much because it's like mix and match, right? You can add whatever you'd like to it. Any stone fruits you like. And it's just absolutely delicious. So we're gonna do that on Monday night. That's gonna be another great summer produce class. I see that there's a question. You have a garden full of eggplant and you're not sure exactly what to do with them. Do I have ideas? Lori, I have been working with eggplant all week. I'll show you one. Here's my new book, which apparently, you guys, it's so weird. I have one copy and I thought, I know the publisher has like 4 copies, right? But I got an email from a woman at Williams-Sonoma the other day saying, oh, I'm cooking out of your new book. And I was like, what? But all of those people get it so early because they have to decide if they want to buy it or not. And so it's kind of, I don't know, it felt like so personal to know that people were already using it. Like I wasn't quite ready for that. But Lori, look at my sheet pan ratatouille. This is my favorite thing to do. And all I did was take eggplant, zucchini, tomatoes, and roast them with olive oil, a little bit of garlic. I think I used some thyme sprigs, yep. Cherry tomatoes, thinly sliced shallot, Japanese eggplant, zucchini, and I roasted it on really high heat, like 400 degrees, like I always do, for 12 to 15 minutes. And then I did it for about 15 to 20 total. It's so easy. But then the other recipe I love to do is, sorry, move that up. I love to saute a yellow onion in olive oil, and then I add eggplant that I've diced. And if you want to go through the trouble of like pressing the eggplant down first, you know, you slice it into rings and then you can press it, you can salt it and you press it in a colander with like heavy plates on top and it makes some of the liquid come out. Most people think it makes it a little less bitter, but if I don't have time to do it, I don't worry about that. So I saute a yellow onion, I add diced eggplant, salt, in olive oil, lots of olive oil, and I saute it until the eggplant's just soft, and then I add a can of crushed tomatoes, some fresh basil, and I let it just simmer. You could use fennel seed, oregano, anything, any of those spices I like for tomato sauce so much. And it is a gorgeous tomato sauce to use on fusilli, you could layer it for a baked pasta dish. It freezes really well. So if you have a ton and you need to make a sauce, and just do that and then freeze it all, and you can have tons of pasta sauce to use later that's got eggplant in it. And when I serve that over pasta, I usually add some chunks of smoked mozzarella to it. It is so good. And loads of fresh Parmigiano Reggiano. Yummy. So good. Those are my eggplant suggestions. You could use it for lasagna. Exactly. That's exactly right. Let me make sure I answered the question that's in the actual question box. Oh, I did. Okay, good. I did not use gluten-free flour today, but you certainly can. And this has almond flour in it as well, the crisp does. So it's almond flour, oats, regular flour, or gluten-free flour, which totally works in here because it's crumbly in the first place, right? But oh my gosh, I am so happy. Do you think I sound like a broken record? I can't stop talking about how much I love it. What else? What other cooking questions? I think in August, next month, we're going to do like menu planning and back to school cooking, which you guys know I love so much. And no, my new book won't be out yet, but I'll probably steal from it because it has so many meal planning ideas and suggested menus that you can do for a week that makes it a lot easier. Does anybody mind if I drink my Starbucks? Oh, these are like potato starch straws. So they're supposedly a little bit better for the environment. I'm trying to think what else to share with you. Any other cooking questions? We'll check on the galette in a minute. But I didn't realize how easy it would be. I just thought it was really important to show you how to roll that crust out. And again, take the time. The things that I didn't have today that I think would be really helpful is my fish spatula, because it's so thin that if the crust starts to stick to whatever board you're using, you could get under it and you can loosen it a little bit, right? But if you have enough flour on your board, it shouldn't be sticking like mine did. I just got aggressive and moved a little too quickly, okay? And the trick is that you roll and then you turn it, and you roll and you turn it. And if you keep turning it, it means it's not sticking, right? So when people get into a big mess and they roll the whole thing out without ever turning it, and then they realize, oh, it's completely stuck to the board, it's pretty hard to start over. You have to kind of scrape it up, chill it again so it's cold enough to roll out and start over. I know, I'm so excited for the new book too. You can definitely use all-purpose flour, Fenna, instead of almond flour. People are adding almond flour just for flavor, right? And it's a healthier alternative on many levels if you can tolerate nuts. But you guys, I'm so excited about this book. I'm so excited to get it in your hands. It feels like the book I was always supposed to write. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but it just feels like me, you know? It's just home. It's just, this is a very realistic interpretation of how I cook at home. And it's kind of like elevated versions of some of my favorite things. And by elevated, I don't mean hard. I just mean like I put extra love into them to get them right. And so I'm trying to find some more pictures. Like these are gluten-free pancakes that are so easy to make. I was just delighted with them. I mean, they're so easy. Gluten-free flour, baking powder, salt, milk, or plant-based milk, an egg, a little honey. The smoothies, green juice, these even, I mean, just so simple. Let's find some more pictures. Oh, like this is one of my favorite pictures. And all it is showing romesco and like a yogurt dip. It's just basically more about how to build a beautiful vegetable board, right? Mexican street corn off the cob dip. That's a winner. Chipotle lime wing. Oh, this is one of my favorite salads. Little gem cob. That's one of the first pictures we took, and I loved it so much. It would have gone on the cover if there were like a piece of chicken or fish on top, but we didn't want people to think it was just a salad book. But I love that bowl so much. I rented all of these beautiful props from a shop in Berkeley, and I I have to keep some surprises for you. The best orzo salad in here. Oh my goodness. The best soups. I'm not a soup person by nature. I don't make soups like unless people ask me to. And everybody always asks me to make soup. And so when I do, I get really excited about it. But like this French onion mushroom soup, I mean, is that the cutest picture you've ever seen? Oh my gosh. The veggies, the green beans, these are so simple, but pretty darn delicious. So the sheet pan ratatouille I just showed you, lasagna, Connor's mac and cheese. There are a lot of great recipes in here that don't have pictures. And it's funny because Connor's like, how does my mac and cheese not have a picture? It's because I added so many more recipes than I was supposed to. I couldn't stop. And so we'd already photographed it. Mozzarella chicken parm. There's no picture for that, but it's one of the things I make all the time. And I'm going to have to take a picture of it. So, oh my gosh, citrusy pulled pork. Come on. Delicious. Hello from Winter Park, Florida. Betsy, yay. So I am really excited. And I really do hope it makes the New York Times bestseller list. I'm not going to pretend like I don't want that to happen. Okay. Should I take a peek at the crostata / galette and see what we think? Let me land it. Well, let me see what it looks like. And then I'll bring it over here if it looks baked enough to show you. It's only been in like 30 minutes, a little less. Oh, but it's so gorgeous. Yeah, it's not ready. It's really brown around the edges. It's absolutely stunning. Oh, you know what? This oven's a little hot. I should turn it down. I'm going to set the timer for like another 10 to 15, and we're going to cheat it a little bit. We're going to take it out a little bit early. We're going to take it out a little bit early just so I can show you all and finish it without you having to wait too long. But you're going to be able to tell. The only thing we're really trying to make sure of is that the fruit is bubbly and juicy, right? And if you've got really ripe fruit, that will take less time, and that the crust is cooked enough. So we don't want a soggy crust on the bottom, and you'll be able to see that if you lift it up a little bit. But then it's supposed to sit and kind of let the juices reabsorb into it like you would with meat, and let it cool some before you try to cut it. Because if you cut it while it's hot, the same thing's going to happen like with meat. The juices are going to run everywhere, and it'll be hard to serve as an actual piece, right? So it's a great thing to make in advance. At least a few hours in advance of when you wanted to serve it. So if you like to entertain a lot in the summer, this would be the perfect thing to make because you're not making it at the last minute. You guys know how I feel about that, right? Let's see. Any other questions? What else can we talk about with food? I don't need to share all of my food allergies with you. I'm just so delighted that we figured out that I'm so allergic to, I went to a new allergist this week. I am so allergic to everything that grows outside. And there's this new, it's not new. It's new to me. It's called like, oh my gosh, I can't remember what he called it. But basically there are 4 weeds and pollens that if you're really allergic to these 4, there are certain foods in each category with the same proteins. And when you eat those foods raw, your body thinks you're eating the pollen or the weed that you're allergic to. And so you get super allergic, like my tongue swells and my mouth itches and your throat itches. However, if you cook those foods, it changes the protein structure of them and you're okay. So after 51 years on this earth, we finally figured out why if I eat like tons of raw strawberries or broccoli, I cannot eat raw avocado without itching. Not that you'd ever want to cook avocado. But the point is that it mimics these pollens that I'm hyper allergic to. And so now I know I just need to cook all my food. There are very few things I can eat raw that don't make me itch. All these beautiful veggies. The joke is with juices and smoothies. I've never wanted cold juices and smoothies in the morning, and I swear it's because my body knew they don't make me feel great, right? But cooked, bring it on. And so I just can't believe that after 51 years, this allergist showed me what this was, and I figured it out. I'm like over the moon about it. It's pretty funny. And then the other thing is that we finally got to the bottom of all of my health problems with my back, which we thought it was endometriosis. We thought it was an SI joint. I've spent years chasing this pain, and I had an MRI read a few years ago, and the doctor did not interpret it correctly. And it turns out that my disc, where I'd had surgery on it about 4 years ago, gosh, 5 years ago, it has completely ruptured. And so it's been like bone on bone. And so there's a reason why I've been dying in pain for so long. And I might have to have more surgery, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be out of pain. We can figure it out. And so this is my year, you guys. I'm figuring it all out about life. And then I'm going to start this new business, and I cannot wait to share it with all of you. It's going to be so fun, and it's going to last a lifetime. Yes, I'm seeing what Angie's saying. Yep, exactly. And it's so weird that you can be allergic to like ragweed, and that has nothing to do with the food itself. But if you're allergic to ragweed and then you eat something that's raw that mimics ragweed proteins, you think you're allergic to it, and it's just raw. But yes, the things on the outside too of fruits and vegetables you can be allergic to, and not the inside. So the only thing I'm not allergic to, I was so elated. I literally tested positive for every weed and pollen and tree. I'm not allergic to pine trees, which I think is why I love Christmas even more, or elm trees. Everything else, birch, you name a tree, I was allergic to it. It was the craziest thing. But I'm not allergic to dust. And I always thought I was. And so I was delighted to hear that. And then I'm very allergic to cats. I knew that. But I'm also allergic to dogs. And I knew that too. It's not as bad as cats. Cats will like put me in the hospital with asthma. But kind of bummed to hear that. Oh, well, what are you going to do, right? Maybe I'll get a goldfish. We're just killing time here while we wait for our beautiful desserts. Is anybody cooking anything with their summer produce right now? Or if you're going out to get produce tomorrow for Monday's class, make sure you look for good tomatoes, super juicy, fragrant tomatoes. Heirloom are great, but even some of the more common types of tomatoes, they should look shiny, juicy, ready to burst, right? Look for good stone fruits, peaches, nectarines, plums, apricots, anything for that salad. And then for the panzanella, if you have any good bread that you can let get stale, that helps too. I mean, you can use fresh bread, but stale bread works even better. Then I made a peach cobbler. Yeah, right? You get better. You figure those things out the more you do it. Oh, the deer like your tomatoes, Diana. Marion berries, delightful. There are some blackberries on my walking trail. Are they? No, they're raspberries actually. Or are they boysenberries? Boysenberries are smaller like raspberries, right? But they're darker, more purple like a blackberry. I think there are boysenberries on my walking trail. Yeah, there are so many. Let's see what Sonia has to say. Oh my gosh. You know what's so funny, Sonia? Sonia or Sonia? Sonia? I know it's Sonia. That's why I'm saying that. Where is that book? I just had it out. I know I have it out. Oh, it's because it's up here. This one has a different cover, but it's the same book. My new book, Homemade Simple, is so much like this book, Real Family Food. And we cooked out of this so much. But the reason I wrote my new book is because my kids still miss this book so much. They love my food in here. And it's just really simple. Oh, there's a great recipe, the pork and mango stir fry. I have a recipe for that pretty much in like every book I make. I need to make that again soon. That is so good. There's a page ripped out. Who did that? Beef and broccoli, herbed rack of lamb, spinach and feta stuffed chicken. I never do this, and it's delicious. Good pastas, chicken divan, my grandmother's recipe. I mean, caramelized onion and prosciutto pizza. It's just such good food. Jason's chili, that's in my book again. I always do a recipe for chili. Turkey sausage lasagna, simplest roast chicken ever. I've got a recipe like that in the new book. There are a lot of things that are similar. And that's on purpose because these are just total winner recipes. Why did they ever put a spinach leaf on that burger for that picture though? That's just absolutely depressing. Does it really? Baby spinach? Are you kidding me? No, no, that's just horrible. Oh my gosh, look at how cute Charlie was. My baby. And now he's 17. These are back in the new book, but better. Brussels sprouts too. Ooh, I have these in the book, but they're better too. They have the caramel sauce on top. They didn't show them with the caramel sauce in this picture. I don't know why. Chocolate butterscotch nut clusters. Yeah, this book is a winner. You can still get it. I just got myself some new copies because I was out. I found some on Amazon. They're usually through second sellers, right? Anyhow. Okay, we need to give this at least 10 more minutes. So can you guys ask me anything or can we play food trivia? I really want to tell you about my new business, but I'm afraid I'll jinx it. It's the biggest thing I've ever undertaken in my life, and it is going to be so much fun. I wake up every day wanting to work on it, which I think is a very good sign, don't you? Ooh, corn. Oh, and Sonia, you say either works, but doesn't that bum you out? Like, which one are you supposed to be? Don't you get tired of it? Corn is amazing. I love corn so much. I'm trying to think what I've made with it recently. Oh, because I was working on this project again. You know what I have in my first book that would be delicious? You don't even need a recipe for it. I cut corn straight off the cob. I don't even cook it a lot of the time, you guys. When I use it in salads, I eat it raw. I love it. But if you want to make it, want to bring out the flavors, you could certainly boil it for a couple minutes or grill it. But drained black beans, you can use canned black beans, corn, red bell pepper. I used to put mango in it, green onion, olive oil, a little red wine vinegar if you want, or lime juice. And it is like the most delicious little salad. Salt. Easy, 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 simple, so good. Great side dish, lots of protein, lots of fiber. I love that. So it's a great way to incorporate corn into a black bean salad, and it lasts in the fridge for a few days. It's so hearty. It's good. Okay, long O. Thank you. Isn't that funny? Okay, Sonia. People call me, it's so funny. I don't know why. Amanda sometimes. I don't know why. Like if it's not an, yeah, it kind of is an age thing. Older people will call me Amanda sometimes, but then they correct themselves and they laugh. Okay. Other questions, friends, while we wait for this masterpiece. Oh, you know what I'll do is I'll just warm up the preserves. We're going to brush on it too because, oh, you're making flank steak and Haas sauce? Lucky family, Lori. Lucky hubby or whoever will be eating it. My kids still ask for that more than anything else. A restaurant's hummus. Oh, that's fun, Fenna. Are you doing everything from scratch or do you use canned chickpeas? Sometimes I try so hard and then they tell me that it's just like the simplest thing and it's not as fancy as I think it is. So that's interesting. Did you get good tahini and everything else? You guys, I'm melting the raspberry preserves, and I know I already got out a pastry brush for it too, because you're going to just brush this over the fruit. And I just want it to be warm, so we're just going to warm this up a little bit. Isn't it fun to have like time and not be rushed to cook? You guys will have to send me pictures of what you do make from today. You know how I love to see them. If you tag me on Instagram at Amanda Haas Cooks, I will, I'll repost them. Okay, I'll show off your masterpieces. I love to do that. Oh, and who's joining us? If you're in the Bay Area, you guys all know that I'm teaching a wellness retreat in Bali in March. Yes, Bali. Here's my new plan. I'm going to go see Taylor Swift in Singapore the night my retreat ends. Because you have to fly back through Singapore if you want to. You can fly back through Singapore or go see her in Sydney, Australia on the way there. Isn't that crazy? But she'll be touring in Asia and Australia, and I'm going to hit it. That's how I'm going to get to see Taylor Swift. But also, if you don't feel like going to Indonesia with me, but you want to do a wellness retreat on September 9th of this year, in 2 months, less than, I'm hosting my first ever day treat with my friend Beverly Jade Petrus. And if you took my wellness class, she did the yoga segment on that. She is so fantastic. She also does sound work. She's a soprano, so she sings. She has the most beautiful voice. She sounds like an angel. Sometimes she sings at the end of yoga. But we're going to do yoga. We're going to have another woman named Lisa Anderson who's going to teach a movement class that, don't worry, it is not high impact if exercise or like aerobics is not your thing. It's the most fun I've had in a workout class in ages. I'm going to cook a huge family-style healthy lunch, and it's all to benefit No Kid Hungry. And our friends at No Kid Hungry are starting a new division called Get Fit for No Kid Hungry. So they're going to start raising money to do some initiatives around fitness and well-being for our kids. So it's just going to be such a special day. It's $250 for the whole day from 9 to 5. It's just in the most beautiful location here in the East Bay you've ever seen. And $100 from each ticket will go directly to No Kid Hungry. So it's not about making a ton of money that day. It's about doing something special together, bringing us all together. If you need a day to yourself, I think that sometimes for me, it requires me like committing to something like this to even leave the house and take time for myself. And it's going to be such a special day. So the link is in my bio. I know we've sold more than half the tickets already. So if you want to join us, we're keeping it to a really small group of people, which I think matters too. It's going to be so fantastic. So I think I would love for you to join us, okay? Ooh, you made the ribs? You guys, okay, I'm so glad that you said that. And I forgot to tell you, I had a conversation with the butcher about baby back versus St. Louis, and I think I might be wrong. I think the real baby back ribs are meatier than the St. Louis. He told me they were, and I made baby back last weekend for my son Connor's birthday, and they were delicious. But the baby back ribs I'm used to getting in restaurants are so tiny that I've never found them to be very meaty. But the ones he sold me were incredibly meaty. So I've always used St. Louis, but he might be changing my mind. Okay, let's take a look. Oh my goodness. You guys, just get out of town, Charlie Brown. This is a masterpiece, and I'm glad I took it out. Hold on, let me get an oven mitt, because this is hot, hot, hot. My towel's a little damp, which means it's going to burn. Okay. Let me get my stool out of the way so I don't do something really funny. Okay. Wait for it. Drum roll. Do. You guys, oh my goodness, check her out. Look at this. Now, so this is only 45 minutes. I'm going to put a little bit of water in this glaze too. Hold on one sec. Jacques does not tell us to do this, but I'm breaking the rules. I want to thin it out. He says you can use apricot, raspberry, or strawberry preserves. And if you wanted to go crazy, you could certainly strain the seeds out of this. I'm not going to do that, okay? But I am going to brush it with a little bit of this. Oh my gosh. Can you believe this, you guys? See how the juices are falling out? We don't care. The parchment paper is going to make it so much easier for cleanup. And, oh my gosh, you guys, this is so over the top delicious. And I think it's more beautiful that it's not perfect. That's just me, though. I don't like perfect. It makes me uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, you guys. Can you believe this? It's going to take everything in my power not to eat it right now, but it's honestly going to be better after it sets because Can you see how juicy it is right here? It's literally like exploding. But, and it's crumbly, right? Like it can break off easily. So we're just gonna let it chill out and set for a little bit. And it's gonna be, I'm looking at what Erna just said. That's hilarious. You know what's funny when people are like, oh, you're wasting your time, but isn't this like a fun way to spend time too? I just like hanging out with you all. Oh my gosh, talking about something that's positive. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty proud. So fun. Yes, Erna, so fun. Oh, I'm so glad, Maureen, that you'll make this. But yes, we need to let this chill out. And then it's actually a good thing probably that I'm going to see Lindsay, because then I can't sit around and start picking at it, which is what I would usually do, and then have deep regrets later that I didn't leave it. I should actually ask my kids if they want to come eat it tonight with their friends, and we'll do this right. There's not World Cup soccer tonight, is there? I watched the women for a little bit last night. That sure was fun. But yeah, I'll invite their friends over and we'll do this right. You guys, this is amazing. So look at this. We have our beautiful blueberry and nectarine fruit crisp, which is the most tasty one I've ever made. It's the recipe I provided. However, melt the butter. Do not use a pastry blender to mix it in like you would with a typical crust. I will change the recipe. Make sure you change it on your copy, okay? 12 tablespoons melted and cooled butter, mix it in, put it over the top. Delicious. Also, I didn't cover that one. It says to cover it for half the time. You can. You certainly don't have to if you don't care that it gets a little browner, okay? And then for this, I've only cooked this galette / crostata for 45 minutes. You can see how brown the crust is. Oh my gosh, I want to eat it so badly. Oops, I just flaked a piece off. That's okay. It's beautiful on the bottom, but let it sit. It will be easier to cut, I promise you. And the juices will kind of reabsorb a little bit, and you can enjoy it all afternoon, evening, whatever you want, okay? That's it. You're welcome, Diana. Come hang out with me on Monday night, you guys. I can't wait to see everybody Monday for the panzanella and for the heirloom tomato salad. I'm gonna wear gloves for that because now that we figured out the food allergies, the last time I made it, I broke out in hives everywhere because the tomatoes and the stone fruits make me so itchy. It turned into this whole thing where I had to go to the doctor. I broke out in hives all over my body, but now we know why. So I'm gonna wear gloves while I slice all of that yummy stuff for you, and I will be fine. But I shouldn't eat a lot of it because it's not cooked, right? So for normal people, I hope you'll enjoy it raw. It should be raw. I don't think I can really recreate that cooked. So take a picture if you guys make any of this today. DM me if you have any questions, or go back and watch how I rolled that dough out, okay? Take your time doing it. It'll probably take a day to get this up. It takes a while for the, couldn't help myself. Oh my God, so good. It takes a while for the classes to upload to our site. It takes a couple hours to download off of Kajabi, which we use, or Crowdcast or whatever, and then to get them up on the website. So my guess is this class will be up for viewing by Monday, but hopefully today, if you're gonna do it today, you listened and you watched. Just remember, plenty of flour on your board. Make sure you turn it a lot so it's not sticking to the bottom. You wanna keep it cold. The more you put your hands on it, the warmer it gets, right? It needs to be chilled. And if you want to speed things up, put it in the freezer for like 5 or 10 minutes instead of putting it into the refrigerator before you add the fruit to it, okay? Everybody have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Enjoy the beautiful fruit and produce out there. And I'll see you Monday night, I hope. Bye.